Picture this. A 23-year-old All-American athlete, really at the peak of his physical game, even holds a world record for receiving yards.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's right on the cusp of his NFL dream. Then, boom, a single devastating broken wrist needs fusion surgery, and it shatters everything.
Just like
Overnight, he's broke, sleeping on his sister's couch, and his entire identity is just gone. How do you even begin to rebuild from that?
It's hard to imagine when everything you thought you were just vanishes.
Welcome to our deep dive into The Greatness Mindset by Lewis Howes. And this isn't just his story of hitting rock bottom.
No, it's much more.
It's a really powerful, practical roadmap for anyone who feels kind of stuck or unfulfilled or maybe just battling those inner critics constantly. Our mission today is to really dig into the source, pull out the surprising truths, the actionable strategies that can help you move from just being good to being truly great in your life.
Yeah, finding that next level.
We're going to uncover the ways fear holds us back, often in ways we don't even realize. We'll explore the vital role of finding what he calls a meaningful mission.
That's key.
And then give you simple but pretty profound strategies to actually shift your mindset and, take back control.
And as we go, we'll connect these ideas to maybe some broader principles, human psychology, the science behind why we struggle sometimes.
Right.
Plus, share some powerful stories from the book that really bring these concepts to life. It helps show why these aren't just abstract ideas. They really matter for your own journey.
Okay, so let's start with Lewis Howes' personal story then. His rock bottom sounds, well, pretty stark.
It really does. 23 years old, sleeping on his sister's couch, totally broke.
And dealing with that wrist injury, the fusion surgery, 6 months in a cast.
And another year of healing expected after that. He talks about lying awake at night, just terrified.
Yeah, asking those awful questions. What if it never heals? What if I can't play again?
Who will I be then? He's very open about feeling financially, physically, emotionally, and spiritually broken.
Wow. And what's striking is how he uses that really low point as an entry into something maybe more universal.
Exactly.
Yep.
That feeling of having a good but not great life, it's a powerful transition.
It really is. You think about it, so many people, maybe they earn good money, have decent careers, lives that look stable from the outside.
Right. Everything looks okay on the surface.
But inside, they describe this underlying sense of pain or unfulfillment, like an ache for something more. Does that resonate with you listening? Have you ever felt that gap, that kind of persistent feeling between what you have and what you truly deeply desire?
It's a really common feeling. And key insight here is how our identity can get so tangled up with external results.
Like that golf saying he mentions.
Yeah, you're only as good as your next shot. But that thinking creeps into everything, doesn't it? Your job, your relationships, your possessions.
So your self-worth is always tied to the next thing, the next achievement, the next promotion.
Always chasing.
Right.
And it leaves you with this constant nagging feeling of not being enough, never quite fulfilled. It's just this relentless cycle.
And that feeling, that good but not great ache, often points directly to what the source calls the real enemy of greatness.
Which is?
The lack of a clear, compelling, meaningful mission. I mean, if you don't know where you're going, it's kind of hard to get there, right?
That's such a critical point. It really echoes Viktor Frankl, from Man's Search for Meaning.
Oh, right. The psychiatrist who survived the Holocaust.
Yes. He argued that a fundamental human need is finding a project that demands your attention, something meaningful.
But wise, you're just wandering.
Pretty much. Wandering aimlessly, without that internal compass to guide you.
Okay, so how do you actually find this meaningful mission? The source gives some solid guidance here. First, it has to be deeply personal.
Right. It has to resonate with you individually. No one else can pick it for you. It's an intentional embracing of a direction that is significant to you.
And finding it requires, honesty, radical honesty with yourself.
The author pushes us to ask, what do I really want? Getting clear on that, without all the external noise and expectations, that's step one.
And this mission, it's described as something much deeper than, say, just planning a trip or a vacation.
Yeah, it's not temporary. It calls on the deeper parts of our souls, moves us to try for something greater than ourselves, a fundamental shift.
But if it's that big, how do you handle the how, the practical steps?
Great question. And the crucial insight here is grasp your mission securely, but hold the mechanism loosely.
Okay, unpack that.
Focus on your why. Know why you're doing it. But don't get so bogged down in the specific how the exact steps, the tactics that'd stop you from even starting. Be
I'm
flexible.
sorry, the how can change, but the why remains constant. That makes sense.
Exactly. And to find your sweet spot within that mission, the book points to three core things. First, passion.
Your heart has to be in it.
Absolutely. Think of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, passionate about football, then wrestling, then acting. Or the author himself, loving asking questions, interviewing. That became his thing.
Like Gurudev says in the source, passion leads to action.
And, crucially, it sustains action. It turns interest into momentum you can keep up long term.
Okay, passion. What's second?
Second, your mission should involve solving a problem. This isn't just about being nice. It's actually a direct path to fulfillment.
Really? How so?
Well, Dr. Laurie Santos from the Happiness Lab podcast notes that truly happy people tend to be others-oriented. They focus on helping others.
Interesting. So contributing, making connections. That brings happiness.
It brings purpose. And third, you need to leverage your expertise or skills. How do your natural strengths, your learned abilities, fit into this mission?
Okay, passion, solving a problem, using your skills. And it's okay if finding that sweet spot takes time, right?
Absolutely. The source emphasizes that. Just keep moving forward, keep experimenting. The important part is the movement.
So, if finding the mission is the goal, what usually trips us up, the book dives into some common struggles. And first up is anxiety. It feels like an epidemic.
The stats are pretty staggering. Anxiety is the most common mental disorder in the U.S., affects 40 million adults.
Wow, and panic attacks.
Up to 30 million Americans experience them annually, and it hits all ages. Over 31% of adolescents, around 22% of adults, 18-44, 20% for 45-59-year-olds.
It really is widespread.
And often, this anxiety has financial roots. People get caught in this trap of thinking buying the next magical thing will make them happy.
Which leads to bad decisions, more debt.
Right. Look at the numbers. U.S. median household income went up about $35,000 between 2000 and 2021, but average household debt, it jumped by over $94,000 in that same time.
Oof. So people are chasing external fixes, but just amplifying the internal stress.
Exactly. And besides money stress is another big one, busyness.
Ah, the glorification of busy. We think it means we're valuable.
We do. But the cost is huge. It leaves people feeling, as the source says, drained, like butter spread too thin over toast.
And it shows up physically, too.
So yeah, headaches, migraines, tight throat, heart palpitations, stomach issues, back pain. So familiar.
Maybe a little too familiar for some of us.
And emotionally, it can lead to feeling isolated and alone, even bitter.
Which brings us back to the body's signals, right? Like something's off.
Precisely. It's the body's alarm system, and it often points to unprocessed internal pain.
Okay, explain that.
The author used a great analogy. Squeeze a juicy orange, what comes out?
Orange juice.
Because that's what's inside. Similarly, when life puts pressure on you, stress, setbacks, whatever, what comes out? Anger, resentment, shame, fear.
It depends on what's already bottled up inside.
Exactly. If it hasn't been processed, it will manifest under pressure. The author saw this in himself with fear and anger when life poked him.
So maybe take a moment, you listening, and consider which of these anxiety, financial stress, busyness, unprocessed pain might you recognize when the pressure's on?
It's a valuable reflection because acknowledging it is the first step.
And often, what underlies all these struggles is fear. The source highlights three big ones that keep us from greatness. First, the fear of failure.
This one's huge. And it's often not just about messing up an outcome.
No, it's deeper, isn't it? Like the fear that failing confirms we're somehow not enough.
Exactly. But the source offers a radical reframing here. It says true failure isn't getting a bad result.
It's not trying.
It's not trying. Success is redefined as the courage to engage, to learn, to grow from the attempt, outcome aside. Like Sarah Jakes Roberts said, failure for me became not trying versus achieving the outcome.
That changes everything. You see it in stories like Sarah Blakely, right? The SpinX founder.
Absolutely. Facing no after no from manufacturers, drafting her own patent because lawyers were too expensive, department stores saying her product was too risque.
But she kept going. Her persistence despite those failures is the story.
Or Dan Millman learning the unicycle at 60. Winks of falling, dangling from fences.
Huh. Before he mastered it, the process was the success.
And Priyanka Chopra Jonas nails it. When you want to create a legacy, it's what you do after failure that matters.
So failure is inevitable for growth. Trying new things, even if they don't work out perfectly, actually increases your odds of long-term success.
Right, because you're learning, adapting, expanding.
Okay, second fear. Fear of success. This sounds weird, right? Why fear getting what you want?
It feels counterintuitive, but it's very real. Think imposter syndrome.
Ah, feeling like your success is a fluke, like you don't deserve it.
Exactly. Which can lead to self-sabotage or running yourself ragged trying to prove it, or operating from the scarcity mindset like there isn't enough success to go around.
Like Jamie Kern-Lima from IT Cosmetics. She had a proven product but kept getting rejected.
Right, down to her last $1,000 across all accounts. But she kept pushing. The fear isn't just of failing. Sometimes it's the fear of, can I handle this if it actually works? Can I sustain it?
That leads to short-sightedness?
It can.
Yeah.
So you have to combat that scarcity thinking by planning for long-term sustainable success, pacing yourself, building resilience, knowing you can handle it.
Okay, and the third fear, the one the author said was toughest for him.
Fear of judgment. This one kept him living at level 6, as he puts it.
Meaning playing it safe, holding back.
Yeah, constantly seeking external validation instead of trusting his own gut, his own mission.
Dan Millman pointed out how easily our identity gets tied to what others think.
It does. But he suggests shifting focus. Instead of worrying, do they like me? Focus on, how can I serve others? That anxiety often fades.
It reminds me of Teddy Roosevelt's Man in the Arena.
Oh, fantastic quote. It is not the critic who counts.
The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena. Critics are usually on the sidelines, right? They're not doing the work.
Exactly. And Dr. Ellen Vora talks about the false yes, saying yes just to please others, even when it's not true to you. That comes directly from fear of judgment.
Priyanka Chopra Jonas again. This is your journey and yours only. Relying on external validation is a long and bumpy ride.
The focus has to shift inward to your own pride, your own values, and maybe validation from those few people you truly trust and love, not the crowd.
And for you listening, remember, critics are part of the deal when you pursue something meaningful. They will show up.
But their power.
It's only what you give them. You choose how much weight their opinions carry.
So true. Okay, we've identified the fears. Now the tools. How do we actively cultivate this greatness mindset?
The source starts somewhere really profound, healing the past.
This is crucial. The author shares his own struggles. Physical symptoms like feeling suffocated, chest weight, exhaustion.
And he realized it was from unhealed trauma.
Yeah, he saw he was sacrificing his own integrity, his own needs, trying to please or protect his inner child.
Wow, that leads to recognizing our coping mechanisms, right? The numbing devices.
Exactly. The book asks you to get really honest. What are yours? Alcohol, binge eating, porn, workaholism, people-pleasing, endless TV.
And then understand why you use them. What short-term value do they give?
Maybe they quiet the negative thoughts for a bit. Offer a moment of calm, however false. Help you sleep.
So reflecting again. What patterns might you lean on? And what need are they trying, maybe clumsily, to fulfill?
Understanding that why is key to finding healthier ways. The author's journey involved therapy, which he describes as finding clarity, peace, and freedom.
But he says he didn't just find them.
No, he became them. He shifted his identity. I am peace, I am clear, I am free. That's powerful.
And healing isn't about blaming the past.
Right. It's about choosing a future you want to take credit for, which often involves inner child work.
Okay, what does that involve?
Acknowledging past wounds, maybe meeting needs that weren't met back then, and speaking positively to that younger part of yourself. You are loved, you are enough, you are protected. It's about integration, becoming more whole.
That makes sense. Then there's the idea of mindset in motion. The thought, feeling, action cycle.
Yes, this interconnected loop. Your thoughts trigger emotions, emotions drive actions, actions reinforce thoughts.
And you can be stuck in a negative loop or consciously create a positive, flowing cycle of growth.
Exactly. Which means actively shaping your thoughts. Ask yourself, who do my thoughts say I am?
Mel Robbins' high five attitude, high-fiving the mirror.
Sounds silly, maybe,
Yeah.
but it's about physically reinforcing self-belief. Or Gabby Bernstein's choose again method. Notice the negative thought, forgive yourself, choose the next best feeling thought. Little shifts.
And feelings aren't bad, they're signals, like a check engine light.
Perfect analogy. They prompt investigation. Feel fear. Ask, what am I really afraid of here? Maybe it's judgment, like Millman suggested. Naming it helps you move past just reacting.
Okay, so understanding the cycle is one thing. What about specific exercises?
The source offers several practical exercises to engage greatness. One is Dale Carnegie's magic minimization formula.
How does that work?
Write down the worry. Identify the absolute worst-case scenario. Consciously accept it, then plan concrete steps to improve the situation and minimize those consequences.
Like fearing job loss. Accept it might happen, then build an emergency fund.
Exactly. It takes the paralyzing anxiety out of it by giving you agency.
Okay, what else?
Dr. Ethan Kross's self-coaching solution, talking to yourself in the third person or using your name.
Like expert speaker can handle this.
Precisely. Research shows it creates psychological distance, diffuses stress, shifts you from I can't to I can. It helps you observe negative thoughts like, I don't have what it takes, more objectively.
Interesting. Then the fear sit-down exercise.
This isn't just wishing, it's active visualization. You immerse yourself in imagining overcoming the fear, feeling the triumph, the relief, the new possibilities. Rehearsing success rewires the brain.
And finding a totem or alter ego.
Yeah, like Churchill's hats or James Lawrence becoming the Iron Cowboy. Something that helps you evoke confidence when you need it.
What about Dr. Wendy Suzuki's work on triggers?
That's fascinating. Using scent memories. Pair a calming scent, like lavender or lime from a happy memory, with a state of calm.
Then when an anxiety trigger hits.
You consciously use the scent. It signals your brain to shift, interrupting the anxiety loop. It's conditioning positivity.
The source also mentions the abundance matrix. What's that?
It's like an internal audit. Before acting, you check. Is this feeling serving me or holding me back? Does this thought support my abundance identity? Ensuring your inner state aligns with your goals.
Prevent self-sabotage.
Right. And finally, nightly reflection. Simple questions before bed.
Like,
how did I do with my thoughts today? Did I guard my mental home with limitless thinking? Just checking in, cultivating that mental environment.
okay, so we've got the mission, the mindset tools. How do we turn it into daily action? The game plan for greatness.
Yes, a step-by-step process. And central to it are these courageous questions for action. 5 questions to push past fear.
Let's hear them. First, the purity question.
If you were 100% authentic, what would you do differently? Like Rachel, who wanted to start a nonprofit for Black mothers, but was hesitant. This helped her embrace it.
Okay. Second, the priority question.
If you had to double your goal in 30 days, what are your first 3 moves? Forces outside the box thinking. Like Grant Cardone rebuilding tenfold after losing everything.
Third, the possibility question.
What would be possible if you could take the next step on your mission? Pushing Dr. Ali Abdaal to consider focusing solely on his digital business, for instance, seeing the bigger potential.
Fourth, the passion question.
What would it feel like if you could achieve your goal? Tapping into that emotional fuel.
And fifth, the prosperity question.
If you won the lottery today, what would you do next? Strips away money constraints to reveal your purest desires, what really matters.
Powerful questions, and beyond asking them, there's this theme of giving yourself permission.
Huge. Permission to eliminate tasks. Roy Vaden. Diluted focus, diluted results. You have to say no sometimes to say yes fully to what matters.
Permission to feel emotions too, right? Not avoid them.
Absolutely. Allowing yourself to feel, even the tough stuff, is crucial for healing and moving forward. And Stephen Covey's simple idea, you're in charge of you.
Internalize that. You don't need anyone else's okay.
And Rory Vaden again, the significance calculation, give yourself emotional permission to spend time on things today that create more time tomorrow. Strategic time investment.
Plus, permission to accept imperfection.
Yes. Successful people have grace for themselves. They don't demand perfection, which allows for consistent progress instead of paralysis.
Now let's talk about accepting the challenge. The author's public speaking journey is a great example.
From broke on the couch to Toastmasters 5 times a week, setting goals, free speech in 3 months, paid speech in 9.
And he did it. Went from free gigs to charging over $5,000. Constant discomfort, constant growth.
And learning salsa, the tall white man who just could not dance, facing rejection for months.
Huh. But he stuck with it. Shows commitment and finding ways to make the uncomfortable fun.
Absolutely. And that Tim Ferriss conference story.
Oh, yeah. He was a nobody then, asking, what would it take to be possible to speak at this expensive event?
And Ferriss ended up interviewing him on stage. It shows the power of daring to ask and then acting.
Katie Milkman's fresh start effect fits here too, using Mondays, birthdays, New Year's for motivation.
And friction removal. Making good habits easy, prepped veggies, and bad habits harder. Extra steps for Netflix. Simple, but effective.
He even ran the LA Marathon without a full test run.
Imperfect action.
Yeah.
Taking the leap before feeling ready. Then he immediately signed up for another one.
It's about continuous challenge, like a boxer needing the next fight. Challenges help you become who you want to be.
You can try this with the 30-day game plan exercise. Pick a goal, Break it down into small steps, set tight deadlines, build momentum.
Finally, defining greatness goals. His Olympic handball dream is wild.
Totally. No pro league in the U.S., but he moves to NYC, joins a team, makes the national team for 9 years, plays professionally in Spain.
And still eyes the 2028 LA Olympics. Talk about long-term vision.
It shows focused energy. Vaden. Diluted focus equals diluted results. And Dr. Benjamin Hardy. Achieving goals gives energy, builds confidence.
Planning is key here, too. The Athenian plans Milkman and Gollwitzer talk about.
If it is Monday at 5 p.m., then I will go to the gym. Makes follow-through almost automatic.
And his overall framework, the Greatness Performance System, GPS.
The power of 3. Business, relationships, and wellness. All 3 are vital and interconnected for lasting success. You can't neglect one without impacting the others.
Makes sense. So you've got the mission, the mindset, the plan. What holds it all together?
The final pieces. The magic of accountability and support. The source calls these the magical keys.
Okay, accountability. What levels are there?
3 main ones. First, accountability to yourself, your own pride, integrity, honoring your commitments.
Second.
To someone else, a coach, a mentor.
Jen Sincero's point. Olympic athletes have coaches. Why do we think we can do it without them? Look at Tom Brady's team, Djokovic's team.
Pros save you time and money immensely. And third, accountability to a community. Team accountability. Like a group weight loss challenge with shared consequences or rewards.
But there are pitfalls when seeking support, right? Dangers to avoid.
Definitely. Don't pick no-fun partners. Enjoyment helps you stick with it. Don't go too extreme on goals in all areas at once, burnout city.
And watch out for irrelevant advice.
Crucial.
Yeah.
Ask, is this person qualified? Is their advice specific to my situation? Are they invested in my success? Are they a coach or just a critic? Filter the input.
The book suggests exercises for this too.
Yep. The accountability partner exercise, decide who, define the commitment device, money, pride, embarrassment. And the be your own worst critic exercise.
What's that involve?
You critically examine your own mission or insecurities. Write down the opposing arguments yourself. It builds resilience against external criticism later.
Okay, now for a big one. The 1% rule. Battling perfectionism.
This is so important. Brene Brown calls perfectionism a defense mechanism, right? Not about excellence, but about avoiding shame and judgment.
So how does the 1% rule work?
It's simple. Set a schedule for your actions, and each time you do it, just aim to get 1% better.
Just 1%.
Just 1%. Better form in your workout, slightly better tone in an email, one better sentence written. It acknowledges you won't be perfect, but you can always improve incrementally.
And that compounds over time.
Massively.
Yeah.
The author uses his podcast, 10 years, weekly shows, not the biggest, no awards, but he's proud of the consistency and the effort and impact. That internal validation fuels him.
Which ties into scheduling for success. What gets scheduled gets done.
Exactly. Block out time for the important things, like therapy or exercise. Create routines. Manage your energy.
And finally, maybe the most overlooked part.
Celebrate your wins. This is critical.
It's not about being complacent.
Not at all. It's about appreciating progress, creating peace and joy along the way. It actually makes you excited and hungry for more, but from a positive energy, not burnout.
Like him celebrating The Rock, following him on Instagram. A small step, but meaningful.
Exactly. He used to think celebrating small wins meant he was settling. Now he knows it fuels the bigger journey. Even just daily gratitude, acknowledging your efforts in wellness, relationships, business, recognizing progress.
Wow. We've really covered a lot, from that feeling of good but not great to defining a meaningful mission, facing those big fears.
And using all these practical tools, healing the past, mindset shifts, planning, accountability, the 1% rule.
It's a whole journey laid out. From the personal stories to the power of small improvements, the path seems clear. It really starts with you.
It really does. So here's something to think about. If Lewis Howes's redefinition failure for me became not trying versus achieving the outcome, if that hits home for you, what's the one audacious thing you've been holding back from trying? Maybe it's a dream, a tough conversation, learning something new. What have you avoided because the fear of failure or judgment or maybe even success felt too big?
And what could actually become possible, truly possible? If you chose to redefine failure right now, let go of that judgment and finally step into your own arena.